Hey guys, Adrian Shepherd here, author of I Succeed and creator of iSucceedBook.com. And today I thought I'd put this little video together to talk about something that is near and dear to my heart, and it has been for many years. Yes, I know you know that I study success because that's what this blog is all about. And I talk about finance from time to time because that's my new focus. I also study marketing and time management, which I touch on from time to time as well. But what I've really been doing for so many years is I've been teaching English. Now that doesn't seem that exciting for many people compared to other things that I talk about on this blog, but learning a language is one of the true keys to wealth in today's world, if you ask me. You see, what learning a language does is it allows you to expand your mind. It allows you to increase your contacts. It allows you to network better. It allows you to understand things in a different way, in a different light. And all these things give you an advantage over people who can only speak one language. In the 21st century, the world is getting smaller and smaller and smaller, as you can already see. And as such, English is the language of choice. So, a lot of people out there have to study English, and it's tough for them. For people who speak English as a native language, we're lucky, in a sense, because we don't have to learn a foreign language. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't. In fact, I recommend everyone try at least to learn a language, and don't give up so easily. I say that's because I was useless for many years. And it was only when I started studying Japanese that I really felt something different. Anyway, today I wanted to touch on the 5 keys that I found in my experience from the people I've met, from the places I've lived, and all the people I've talked to, and my experience myself, how you master a language. I consider 5 key points. The first of which is very simple. A girlfriend or a boyfriend of the language that you want to learn. So if you're studying Japanese, you want a Japanese girlfriend or a Japanese boyfriend. That sounds corny, but the key is that when you have passion and love and you want to get to know people, it's a powerful force that can overcome nearly anything. And even if you don't understand people at first, if you really like them, you'll make an effort to learn. So I've seen people completely change their lives just because they had a boyfriend from a different culture. The second that I think is almost equally as powerful is studying abroad. That, of course, costs money, which sometimes is not an easy choice for people, but it is a great experience for anyone who has a chance to do it. Especially anyone who's young should really take advantage of that time, because once you start working, as you know, it's just too hard to take a break. And when you're young, you can take even a year overseas or spend even maybe 2 or 3 years, which would be incredible. And it's ample time to move your level of language study from almost 0 to close to being fluent if you work at it really hard. Which brings me to step 3. Step 3 is simply study. Now, this sounds corny, but people try to find ways around studying. They, maybe get a boyfriend or they get a girlfriend, they study overseas, they do all these things and think that, hey, well, I won't have to study. It just doesn't work like that. Even if you have a girlfriend, even if you live in a foreign country of the language of your choosing, studying is the key element. Trust me on this, because I've lived in countries where English was not the native language for many years, and I didn't learn the language. Why? Quite simply, I didn't want to. And I put myself in positions that didn't force me to learn the language. So when you do study overseas, it's imperative that you put yourself in situations that you're forced to really learn the language. Avoid spending too much time with people of your own race, although it feels comfortable, or people of your own language, again, because it feels comfortable. And try and spend time with people who don't speak your language. It's one of those key elements, really, when you study overseas. So, 4th tip. Oh, of course, this is one that I got from a friend back in high school, and it's very simple. TV. I asked them, how did you learn this language? How did you learn that language? And time again, I heard a lot of my friends say, I learned by watching TV. Now, this is better for children than for adults, but the point is that TV is an incredible source of information. First of all, the structure which they use is absolutely perfect. There's no mistakes, there's no hesitation. These are actors. They've practiced and honed their talent so that you're hearing perfect English. Now, people recommend news, which I think is okay, but the topic area is kind of dry, so I don't recommend you start with news unless you're really interested in it. I would recommend TV shows over movies. The reason I say that is because you can watch sometimes 10 seasons, for example, of Friends, or 9 seasons of Seinfeld. But whatever show you watch, there's so many episodes that you get to know the characters and you get to kind of guess because you know what's going on. And if you watch a movie, each movie you watch, you've got to start from scratch again. And that's kind of one of those things that people don't consider when they're studying. And last but not least, it's very simple: get a good teacher. Now, there are some good teachers out there, and there's some good teachers. You need to find the good teachers, the people that you can relate to the best, the people that will challenge you to be better, the people that will push you hard. They won't take it easy on you. They expect a lot out of you. Those are the people we need to find, because those are the people who will really help boost your English language study, or whatever language you're studying, Spanish, French, whatever. The key thing is that you want to find someone that you can relate to. I've had some good teachers that they did their job and I enjoyed their class, but when I found a great teacher, or a really good teacher, it was just in a different stratosphere. So, those are the 5 keys, in my opinion, when you want to master a language. Just a little thing here before I finish. I'd like to talk about 3 big mistakes that people make in studying a language. Okay, it's really, really simple. First, they don't study. They don't. They just think there's other ways to do it. They think that they can do it by osmosis. They put the book on the head and they go to sleep. It doesn't work like that. We all know that, and yet people are always trying to find ways of not studying, but there's just no way around it. It's as simple as that. And language is one of those ones that you really cannot not do the work. Okay, it's something you've got to learn by repetition and practice and just working hard at it. Pretty much like everything else. But language is special. And I'll get to that in a second. Second mistake people make is when they go overseas and they study and they learn quite a lot and they come back and they stop studying because they think they're good. And they think that they're good enough to do what they need to do to converse or to use it in the business. But the problem is if they don't keep using it, that language level goes down and they become sloppy. It doesn't sound professional anymore. I mean, I've seen people who've lived in America for 10, 15 years, come back almost fluent, and 5 years later their English has been just not what it used to be. So, don't stop studying after you come back from travel overseas. Find a teacher in your area and keep studying. And the good thing is when you come back, what you'll find is, having lived overseas in that country and learning the language, you pick up a lot of natural spoken language, but it's sometimes sloppy. That you need to find a good teacher for, to fix, to tweak, okay? A good teacher will be able to say, I know people say that, but it's not correct. And I know that sounds good, but it doesn't work in the situation, okay? So look out for that. And last but not least is the people who go overseas, they study, they come back, and they're fluent pretty much, and they forget one simple thing. They forget that they don't know everything. Yes, it's a common mistake. They come back, they've got great scores, they're great, they think they're so wonderful, but they miss out on a few small areas, and it really sets them apart from the great speakers, because people think, wow, their English is so good, and yet they do this or say that, or people will start laughing behind their back because at the level they are, they're expected to know everything, and when they look silly, people notice, and sometimes people won't tell them. So those are the 3 biggest things that people make mistakes on when studying a language. Now, I said that language is language is special compared to other subjects such as math or science or history, and that is because English, or a language must be used. And therefore, the simple point that I have to say is you just cannot be shy in learning a language. Even if it's not your character to speak up or to ask questions, force yourself. It's the only way to master a language. TV is good, having a boyfriend or girlfriend is good, studying abroad is good, but you've got to get yourself out there. You've got to use it. Okay, you can't just be passive in learning, especially when it comes to a language. You've got to be active. You've got to be doing things, trying hard, just using every word you've got. Just use it when you can. Don't hold back. The more you use it, the faster you'll learn and the better you'll be. That's it. That's my keys to learning a language. So, hope you've enjoyed this video. I look forward to seeing you next time on another video. Ciao.